KTN News Desk. Let's go back to our top story this afternoon. And the plenary session of the Assembly of State Parties will this afternoon, of course, deliberate Kenya's agenda on the International Criminal Court case against Deputy President William Ruto. Well, intense lobbying is already going on, as you can imagine, with Kenya seeking to convince member states to support its position regarding the twin issues of, first of all, reversing the application of the controversial Rule 68 on prior recorded testimony, and of course the audit of ICC witnesses. And like I promised earlier, we want to speak to Ndegwa Njiru, who's joining us from our City Center studio, to basically get a feel of what to expect this afternoon. Thank you very much, Ndegwa. He is a High Court advocate. Maybe we can just start by what happens if Kenya fails in its petition this afternoon. What next?
Exactly, we're expecting a lot of deliberations at the State Party Assembly today. But the question is whether or not it's only Kenya that you're looking at as a state or other state parties, or there are other non-state actors like the coalition of the NGOs. The question is, if Kenya fails to convince the Assembly today that there is need for them to amend Rule 68, which has allowed the recanted evidence to be admitted, the question is, what will happen? Will Kenya's threat to pull out of the ICC statute have any effect vis-a-vis the proceedings at the ICC? It is important for us to note and to know that the ICC statute does not act in, or does not exist in utopia. It exists within the confinements of some legal principles that have been practiced for a long time, like the international customary law. Kenya, whether it has signed the ICC statute or not, it is bound by the ICC statute, by the application of the international customary law. So if it fails to convince the Assembly today, basically the case will proceed, and its threat to withdraw from the ICC statute will not have any effect insofar as the proceeding of the case against William Ruto and Joshua Sang are concerned. If you look at the ICC statute, and more importantly, Article 127, it is the one that is providing the procedures for withdrawal. And the law has allowed any state party to the statute through the Vienna Convention to withdraw from being bound by that particular statute. But the question is, will there be consequences? If you look at Article 127, it has provided that even if a state withdraws from being bound by the ICC statute, if there was a matter that the court was seized off, or if the court had opened investigations prior to the withdrawal, the case will still proceed to its conclusion. So the question is, the question of withdrawal will not have any significant effect on the Ruto Sang's case. It has to proceed to its logical conclusion.
I'll stop you there just for a bit. We'll continue this conversation shortly. I want to finish up with part one of KTN News Desk. We'll be coming back to that conversation in a short while.